We have light rays for spherical lenses in this video. We will be looking at these rules, how to apply them for our ray diagram. Let's start with the convex lens. The convex lens is a converging lens for image formation. We need to draw the lens accurately. Let me show a simple trick for that. Draw a line representing the principal axis. Mark the optic center O, roughly in the center of the line using a ruler. So mark 2 points to the right of O. F2 is, let's say, a 2 centimeters from O, and 2F2 is the double the distance. It's at 4 centimeters from O. On the left side, mark F1 and 2F1 using the same distance. O is the optical center of the lens, and F1 and F2 are the two principal foci of the lens. Now draw the convex lens. You can roughly sketch the lens or use a compass to draw the two arcs of the convex lens. Make sure that the lens is thin. Do not draw thick lens. Now let's take a look at the rules for image formation of a convex lens. Ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus on the other side of the lens. A ray of light passing through the optical center of the lens goes straight. It emerges without any deviation. A ray of light passing through the focus after refraction becomes parallel to the principal axis. We need to select two rules out of the three rules. Now the object is going to stand beyond 2F1. So remember, we need to select two rules out of the three rules. Let's use rule 1. The ray which is parallel to the principal axis after refraction by the lens passes through the focus. So this is our first ray here. For the second ray, let's use rule 2. The ray which passes through the optical center goes straight through undeviated. So what does the intersection of these two right rays represents? That's right, the image. It's the image of head. Where is the feet of image? It's on the principal axis. So you don't need to draw the light rays for the bottom of the image. Simply extend the top of the image to the principal axis and we get the bottom of the image. Then what are the properties of the image here? Yes, that's right. The image is real and inverted. It's diminished, and as you can see, the image is formed between F2 and 2F2. Here, where the object is at 2F1, to use rule 1 and rule 2. And try to find the image yourself, and also write down the properties of the image formed. So what's the nature of the image? Yes, you got that's right. The correct answer is the image is real and inverted, and the image is formed at 2F2, and size of the image is equal to size of the object. We have our case 3 here, where the object is between F1 and 2F1. I would suggest you to pause the video here, draw the ray diagram and try to find the image yourself, and also write down the properties of the image formed. So what's the nature of the image? You got, that's right. The correct answer is it's a real and inverted image that's magnified, and as you can see, the position of the image is beyond 2F2. This is an interesting case because as you can see, the object is at F1, and once again use rule 1 and rule 2. As you can see, the refractor rays are parallel. The refractor rays never meet. So where is our image formed? The image far away formed at infinity. The image is real and inverted, and it's highly magnified. Now the object is between optical center and F1. Let's use rule 1 and rule 2. As you can see, the refractor rays here are divergent. See Nana, my dear children, the object is between F1 and O and use rule 1 and rule 2. As you can see, the refractor rays here are divergent. If divergent rays are there, so we need to produce them backwards to obtain our image? No. Whoa, can you see the image is magnified here? So what are the properties of the image? The image is virtual and erect, it's magnified and it's formed behind the object. Yes, do you know a use of convex lens for this case? That's right, it's used as a magnifying glass.